Okay, I'll bring you guys on momentarily, okay? Yo, I am HyphenX, and welcome to the great conversation where we indulge in healthy dialogue about topics that are important in today's society and culture. This is a new live edition of the Great Conversation podcast. I think this is what we're going to start doing here. We got a great show about being adopted coming on today. As you all may know, I am engulfed in the TikTok world, and TikTok takes you so many places. But I ran across a TikTok talking about um, adoption, and it dropped some facts for me here. It says about 135,000 children are adopted in the United States each year. 135,000 children are adopted in the United States each year. And out of that number, it also states that 40% of the adopted children are of different race, culture, or ethnicity than both of their adoptive parents. And this is just something I kind of just wanted to talk about, put out some fillers. And we got some bites. We will ask our guests to go ahead and make sure that they share this live. And also, guys, make sure you share this live as well. All right. So I'm going to start bringing on some of our guests here. We got neither one of our guests are strangers to the show. They've come on the show a number of time or a number of time, and they come back. And this is what we do here at the Great Conversation. We like to have difficult conversations, but these difficult conversations can be had. All right. So first off, I want to bring in someone that I know heart is very genuine, very pure, from what I've witnessed. We got Mama D. Let me add her to the stream here. Mama D, what's going on?
Not too much. Thanks for having me back. I'm, honored that you even thought of me. Thank you.
Now, go ahead and just remind the folks that may not know who you are, and what you do.
Okay, so like you said, Mama D, Miss D, either one of those work, or just plain D. I don't use my government name. Um, and currently, I work with teens at West Middle School. I'm a behavioral specialist there. Previously, I was at the Y. I was the teen director there. So
Boom. Thank
basically,
you
I
so
work with
much.
kids.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
basically, I work with teens that need that special Miss D kind of love.
Hey, well, thank you for joining the conversation today. Also, I have on the line here someone who's not a stranger to the show. Very, very humble young lady. She's very humble, very genuine, very sincere. I hear some crunching in the background there. I'm going to bring on Dayna. What's going on? Oh, did we lose her? I don't know. I think we might have lost Dayna, but that's okay. She'll pop back on here momentarily. Okay. So, Miss D, they say about 135 children are put up for adoption in each year. Can you kind of tell us your story, your adoption story? I hear sometimes is somebody chewing some ice?
No, it's quiet here.
Where is that coming from? Let me see here. Okay. All right. So about 135,000 children are put up for adoption each year. Can you kind of tell us your adoption story? Because I know it's a very
Um,
peculiar one.
Yeah, so I've been adopted 2 times. Uh, Once at birth, and the second time when I was 9 years old. The reason being, the first family was a horrible fit. They were Native American and Caucasian, and my second adoptive parents were both Caucasian. Again, the system did not give me a very good fit either time.
Now, when you say your first fam, okay, so we'll dive into that. And Dayna, that was your first. That was the first story. I'm going to let you tell the second story here momentarily. Dayna, I got you on the line here. Would you go ahead and share your adoptive story as well?
It's,
Dayna, are you there? Can you hear us?
I can't hear.
Okay, Dayna, we're going to ask you to log out and then log back in, and we'll bring you back on. Remove from stream. All right. Now, you said that one set of parents were both Caucasian, and once the first set were Caucasian and Native American, correct? Okay. So everybody just kind of left. So they're gonna come back on here, guys. Sorry, guys. This is what happened when you do a live broadcast, man. Things happen, baby. Hey, if you were adopted, go ahead in the comments and put a 1 in the comments for me. If you were adopted, or and then if you know someone in your family was adopted, go ahead and drop a 2 in the comments below. Because I thought this was a peculiar number here. 40,000, I'm sorry, 40,000, 40% of adoptive children are of different race, culture, or ethnicity than both of their adoptive parents. Miss D was saying how her first adoptive parents, one was white and one was Native American. So they just say she know a few people. So let's see, bring on Miss D. Boom, Mama D.
Yes, sir.
Okay, bet. So you were saying that your first adopted parents were white and Native American, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Now, who was white? Who was Native American?
So the father in that situation was white, and the mother was Native American.
Okay. What kind of household? Like, okay, so how, you say you were there from birth to what age?
Till I was
Nope, I cannot hear you.
from birth to age 7.
To about age 7. Okay. So to about age 7. So 7 years with this family. What
Yeah,
kind
and
of like what kind of
they had other
experiences
children
do you
in the
remember?
home that they adopted. So they had a Native American son that they adopted. There was a Caucasian boy that they adopted, and then myself. And it was, I mean, it was different. I mean, it was an abusive home for sure. They probably never should have adopted any children. But things really got bad when they gave birth to their own daughter, and it got bad for
Mm.
me and the white boy that was living there as well.
So once they had their own child, things got worse.
Oh yeah, definitely. It
Is this
was.
something that is normal, would you say, in the adoptive circles?
Um, I would have hoped not, but I did as I started talking to a lot of youth that have been adopted that this does happen. That for whatever reason, that adopted child isn't quite loved the way that they should be when this new child that is actually their blood relative comes along. So I've
Mm,
heard some pretty bad horror stories.
mm. Man, I've heard some of those stories as well. I've actually seen some of those. Let's see, we have Dayna coming back here. Let's add her. Hey, Dayna.
Hi, sorry about that.
Hey, there we go. Hey, Dayna, go ahead and share us your adoptive story. Mama D was
Um,
adopted twice.
okay, I was only adopted once. I was adopted from West Africa, Liberia, when I was 8 years old. Um, I was adopted by Caucasian people, parents. My baby sister was actually adopted with me. So I was 8, she was 9 months. This coming up July 4th would be 15 years in America. And so, yeah,
So does 4th of July hit different for you?
yeah. I mean, I never really celebrated it until, well, I celebrated with my family until I realized the meaning of all of it, dig into like the whole American history. So now I don't really celebrate it. And yeah, it's 15. I mean, it's just a reminder that I'm not with my other family.
Now, how old were you when you were adopted?
I was 8 and a half.
Okay, so you were 8 and a half. So Mama D was adopted at birth.
Mm-hmm.
You were adopted at 8. Now, Mama D, how old were you? So you were there until you were 7. So tell us about the experience of going into a new home.
Okay, I must have missed that part. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Tell us about how it was to go to a new home at the age of 7 from the abusive parents, adopted parents
You
that
know
you
what?
were with.
Yeah. So I spent about 2 years in the foster care system, and our foster care system, as I've said before, is broken, and it needs a lot of help. And so when I ended up in my next home, I was so hopeful that this would be it, that this would be a good fit, that things would be better for me. Yeah, and it was a letdown.
So even Dayna being at the age of 8 years old, man, you had to go from a whole nother continent. So did you just come from West Africa, Liberia to the United States?
Yeah. It was first, like, I didn't really know what was really going on when everything was taking place. I got like a letter and like pictures and like a stuffed animal and like clothes from my adoptive parents, and that the orphanage, like, they told me what was happening. I didn't know. And then the day of adoption came. I don't really remember a lot of what happened before I was adopted, but the day came. I got ready. My family, we drove to the airport. I've never met my adoptive parents before. I just saw pictures, and so the first time meeting them was in America at an airport, and then they took me home, which is like that's fucked up. That's so weird, and I'm just like, how is this okay? Like, thinking about it now, I'm just like, I don't know these people. I really don't know these people, and y'all just letting me leave with them, and I've only seen pictures. Like, that's just like a messed up thing thinking about it now. And so,
Wait a minute. So okay, so you were in an orphanage prior, and do you know how old you were when you got to the orphanage?
I was only in the orphanage for about 6-7 months. So when I was adopted, I was 8 and a half. So I was only there probably when I got there when I was like 8, maybe. I remember having a birthday in the orphanage. So I was 8 and a half. I was 8 when I got to the orphanage.
Oh, so you weren't at the orphanage very long.
No, I was only there for like 6-7 months.
Okay, so let me ask both of you this question. Do you guys know why you were put up for adoption?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Oh, we lost her again. All right. Dan, would you like to share?
Sure. I mean, where I grew up with my family, there was a lot of civil war. It was very poor, and so my family, I guess, made the decision to put me and my sister up for adoption because she couldn't physically meet our needs, like food, water. We just, if we would, she made the right decision to put us up for adoption, hoping we would be adopted to the States for a better life and for survival.
So it's almost the typical immigrant American story: come to America, better life, blase, blase. Now, you're like, okay, so you're saying like, okay, so are there other siblings?
Yeah, my sister Casey was adopted with me, and then I have other siblings back in Liberia.
Older or younger?
Older.
So they like, were they like, when you say older, are you talking about 10 years older than you?
Yeah,
okay, so
my brother Emmanuel, he's like 30 something. I'm 24, so he was way older than me. Yeah.
So they were able to pretty much work and fend for themselves. That's why you and your sister were put up?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me bring back in Mama D here. All right, Mama D, you back? Wait, hold on. Let's see if you muted. All right. Are you back? Oh, you muted yourself. You got to unmute yourself.
All right.
All right, there we go. Okay, so you said, I heard you say yeah before you the CIA cut you off. So yes, yeah, you were. So, you know why?
Okay, so I was actually put up for adoption. So I was born in 1970. My parents are a mixed race couple. So that's just 3 years after it was legal to marry mixed couples. Both my parents were very young, and my mom really felt like that would have given me the best chance at having, a good life. Like, she really felt like that she just could not take care of me the way that she wanted to. Her and my dad were an on again, off again couple, and so she really felt like that was the best thing to do for me.
Mama D, do you okay? So I want you to say that again. You were born in 1970, and that was 3 years after it was legal for interracial couples to marry, correct? Is that what you said?
Yeah. So it became legal in 1967, correct?
Uh-huh.
And I was born in 1970.
I say that because we kind of look at these rights and these bills and the civil rights movement as so long ago. All these things happened so long ago. They show you in black and white pictures. They show you all these things to show you that, hey, this was very long time ago. When no, it's not. Just 3 years before Mama D was born, if her mother and her father were together, that was a legal act. That was deemed legal in the United States of America. So I just want us to be careful when we say, saying the legal thing is the right thing, because that once upon a time, she would have been a product of an illegal sanction. So now, Mama D, do you know if do you have other siblings?
Hold on, yeah, actually I do.
Tell how many?
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
So actually, what happened in my parents' case? About a year and a half after I was born, my parents got married, and they have 2 other girls that are younger than me.
So do you think it was more so the political pressure or the societal pressure of having a mixed breed child so soon after it was passed to have to? Where are you from? Where were you born
at? Batavia, Illinois.
Okay, so yeah, people think of Illinois was just a smooth state. It's very racist out here. It's very racist in Illinois. People don't think so.
Mhm.
So you both. I just want to show that you both kind of have a similar story at the age of pretty much. Okay, so Mama D, at the age of 8, you said you had to go into foster care for 2 years, and then we lost her again. Hey, she's playing hot potato. What's that? Duck Duck Goose. In and out. Bubblegum in a dish. This is the Great Conversation Podcast, man. I'm sitting here talking with Dayna, and we're talking about just being adopted. Now, Dayna was adopted. She said, I heard, I listened to language, and I heard Dayna say she was adopted by Caucasian parents. Is that Caucasian parents as in same-sex parents, or were they a heterosexual couple?
Heterosexual.
Okay, so they were one man, one woman.
Yes.
Tell me, okay, so when they brought you home from the airport, these people that bought you some clothes, sent you a picture, and a stuffed animal. You meet them at the airport, you and your sister. Do they say this is your new mom and dad?
Probably yes. I was in the days.
Yeah.
Because we have like pictures and stuff from the airport, and I was so tired. I was so like jet lagged or whatever. I don't really remember the plane ride here, but like I don't know like what the conversation was, but yeah, it was probably like, this is your mom and dad. Say hi, take a picture, and then go home with them.
You said take a picture.
I mean, we took pictures. I'm like, I look dazed and confused. Yeah.
So I could see that. I could see how that could be. Now, tell me, okay, so did your adoptive parents have other children, as in like their own biological children?
My mom was married before my dad now, so she had 2 sons in a previous marriage. And then she married my dad, and they didn't have kids together.
Okay. So
she has 2 boys that are older, and then she got married to my dad, who's my dad now, then adopted us.
Okay. So let me just ask the question that everybody come on, let me just ask the question. Growing up with white parents, okay? How different was that for you?
I mean, it wasn't like it was different because I knew about my family before. Like I knew I was a Black woman or girl at the time, so it's not like I was a baby and then I'm like trying to figure out who my family is or where I came from. Like I know I experienced life, I was 8, so I remember things. And so living with a white family, it wasn't like something I had to like figure out for myself. It was weird. Obviously you get a lot of stares, you get all these like that doesn't belong together kind of vibe, I guess. It was different. Like it's like it's different, and I can't pretend to be like it was smooth sailing because we are different. We're from different cultures. Like I'm completely from a different country than adopting a Black person from America. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's different. And so it wasn't like it's like speaking a different language. I had to relearn English, like the more like the white way. I had to speak proper. I had to learn lots of good like basic school. I gotta it was just a culture shock was like the word for it, I guess. I was learning a whole new culture, and then living with people I don't really know. And so it was different, and it was really hard. And I tried running away a lot because I'm like, I don't know these people. My parents told me, like, you ran a lot. You try running away, want to go back home. And it was like an adjustment because 2 different worlds clashing without my consent and not really knowing what's gonna happen, how their family was gonna be like, because I knew my family. It wasn't like I didn't know my mom and dad.
Right. Now, you said, now, I hear you saying a lot of things, like you're saying like you don't remember a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a
Mm-hmm.
lot blocked. So were you told that you ran away, or do you remember that you ran away?
No, I remember. I remember running away. I'll be out anytime, any chance I get. I'll out that door, cause like it was different and it was adjustment, and I didn't. It's like I came to the airport and it was like by the time we got to the airport and I met them, it was like already dark. It was a couple hours drive to go home. We got home and I was literally in a completely different country. And for some reason, people think you just adjust like that. And I guess it was easier for my sister because she was 9 months. So this is all she
Yeah.
really knows. And so, like, I had questions and, like, I don't know. It was weird. And it's still, like, when I think about my life now, I'm like, all those things that seem normal, I'm just like, that was not normal. You don't meet two completely new people, go home with them and be like, yeah, you're gonna live with them for the rest of your life.
So tell us about, because you know you're saying things were hard. You know what I'm saying, it was hard to adjust. Because we see this all the time. We see this on TV where you know these celebrities, they go out and they collect different children, different nationalities. You know what I'm saying? They they collect them and whatnot. And you sound as if you were always kind of aware of who you are, aware of what's going on. You were trying to break away from freedom. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that knows Dayna, she's very quick. Now, now, so tell us, when you started to research the Black people's struggle in America, and then you turn around and you're eating breakfast with a white man and a white woman, and I'm assuming the older boys, did they live there? And if they did,
no, they were older. Yeah, they were already like out.
Okay, so you're sitting there with your white parents, and you're reading all these things. I feel as if you said something or challenged them in some kind of way. Did you ask any questions?
Honestly, I didn't start researching that until like I think I moved. Like growing up, I used to like search like beautiful Black women, whatever, when I was like younger, you know, because I didn't see any of that. I wasn't given those information. I knew I was different from my parents and from the kids I went to school with, my teachers, my friends, all of that. So like I would search like beautiful Black women on Google and I would see, okay, I like that, whatever. And so I didn't start like learning about my history until not that long ago, actually. Like all through elementary, junior high, middle school, high school, I was like that adopted girl who didn't really question much because my parents, we didn't talk about where I came from, really. You know?
Wow.
Yeah, it was more like you were adopted.
That's it.
Pretty much. And then, I mean, I didn't.
It's time for grilled cheese and tomato soup.
They didn't really know, and I bet. I mean, they tried probably to. I don't know. They didn't. We didn't really talk about it as much as I don't. Maybe I'm not remembering talking. No,
you're probably right. Because on the movies, they kind of show that once you're adopted, they kind of tell you, "Hey, you were adopted." You may have that one conversation. Yeah, you were adopted. These are your parents, but we are your new parents, and we gave you a new life. And then that's kind of it. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy this new life that we've bestowed upon you. You know what I'm saying? Like when you say, because so you're saying you were engulfed into like white culture, so you're at school with white people, you're going to family functions, it's all white people and whatnot. What was the reception like, the majority of them, not just the majority of the white people? What did you hear, what did they say, you know what I'm saying, that you can recall?
I don't. It was boring. I don't know. It was boring.
So do you remember like your first Christmas or your first Thanksgiving?
Yeah,
the barbecue?
like we spent Christmas with like the grandparents, the aunts and uncles, kind of stuff like that. It was, I don't, the conversations, obviously my family accepted me, duh. Like yeah, you know, like whatever. But like when it came to like conversation, it was just, I don't know. At some point, I guess it was more like I was like a like when we go places or like when we go to family, it was like I was the new, like I was the shiny like.
Oh, you were like the new toy.
You know? Don't say it like that, but like I was just
like center of attention. You were the center of attention.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're the black person in front with all the white people. Yeah.
Yeah. And after a while,
they're fascinated.
Yeah, it was different. It was like, that's the word. It's just different.
Okay, so I grew up around mostly white people, like at the age from like elementary to about 7th grade.
Yeah.
And they were always so fascinated by me. And look at me, I'm fair skinned, I'm light skinned, and they were so fascinated by me. They want to touch my hair. They're making me doing the hand test, like flipping my hand over. Like, our hand is all one color all the way around. Look at your hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Things like that. I had a story one time in the 5th grade where we were talking about slavery, and my slavery teacher, my history teacher, my history teacher is teaching us about slavery, and he says, well, you had house slaves and you had field slaves, and Dinesh here, he probably would have been a house slave. And then everyone looks at me, and then he just goes on to the next subject. You know, he just continues with his topic. You know what I'm saying? So I know that I've had these I've been questioned. You know what I'm saying? Are you mixed? You know what I'm saying? Are you that?
Yeah.
So I know if I'm getting these questions, I know you got these questions.
Yes.
And probably even more. I know that for a fact. So please tell us some of the questions that white people ask you.
I got, when I came to, like when I first went to school, I was 8.5. I went to 2nd grade, like my first day of school. I mean, when I first came to America, I'm still dark, but I was dark. I was like this beautiful, like dark chocolate, like I just came fresh off the boat type shit. And so like, going to like seeing pictures, like I was one of the only few black kids. And the only black kid I really remember was my friend Massaquoi. He's also from Liberia too, actually. So I think he was like the only, so I was like stared at, and my accent was like thicker. It was damn near like, I sounded like I was speaking a different language, because like when I first came, like I couldn't really understand my parents, even though in Liberia it was considered English, but like the accent is so thick, we don't pronounce like certain letters of the word, like things like that. And so it sounded like I was speaking a different language. So like I ended up falling asleep in class, because like it was so overwhelming with how much I had to learn. And so then I had to go to my teacher's house after school so she could teach me more, because I ended up falling asleep. Kids want to like touch my hair. They
like, while you asleep? So
No.
weird.
No,
That is so weird.
I don't remember like questions, but like I know I was bullied. Obviously, I was bullied a lot for being so dark.
Oh,
The
yeah.
kids were mean, and the meanest kids weren't even like the white kids. It was always the Asian kids for some reason.
What?
They were so mean to me. I don't know. And I mean,
What the Asians was doing to you?
they'd be speaking their language, but they'd be like pointing at me and laughing. Or they would be like, "You're not pretty," but I'm like, "Yeah, I am."
Yeah, it's too late. I got that.
They would be like, "I'm just not like." It was always like I was just not the pretty girl. Like it's all around. I guess it was weird for being black, and it's weird because I had like all my friends were pretty much white, so they were nice. But like, you have all those people who were like straight up racist. Even in elementary school, like these kids, they start so young, and I'm just like, I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know.
Oh, so when you were little, you just knew like some of these kids didn't like you just because you was black.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, how would they express their racism at such a young age?
Like I was not pretty. They told me that. My hair was my hair. They wanted to touch it, but then when they touch it, they'd be like, "Ew, why does it feel like that?" Blah 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 blah. What else?
I remember that. I'm laughing because I remember that.
Like, what the hell? I don't know. I don't even know. But my sister, there's this one incident. This boy, we were standing in line in the morning to go into school. He says, what did he say? I think he called me a monkey or something. He called me something like that. My younger sister, she straight up punched him straight in the face. She was like, it was the best thing ever. Of course he started crying, blah, 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 blah. But like that was the best moment of my life because I'm just like, bro, you are legit so pale. Like I can see your face. Like you are. Never mind.
I can see your face. No, that'd be real. That's real. Deja says that that's good that you had confidence back then. I was gonna say that too. Because you had mad confidence, because you said you were already looking that stuff up. It sounds like Black Pride was already embedded in you.
Yeah, it was weird because like it's weird because I don't really it's like my brain somehow don't remember everything from Liberia, but like I remember like African confidence is I don't know how my mom, she would be braiding my hair, singing to me. I remember it was just like an extra boost of confidence that she gave me. I don't know where it came from, but I just knew like I'm not. It wasn't ordinary. It was not like an ordinary thing. Even though I'm completely away from home, I didn't know these people. I just knew like being Black and being an African was extra special for some reason. And from a young age, I was looking that up, making sure I'm like beautiful Black women was always something I always looked up. So
your mother, you said your mother used to sing to you. Do you remember some of the songs she used to sing?
No, there's this one memory. It was like sun, like it was sunny or whatever. We're sitting on some porch, something, and she's braiding my hair and singing to me while I'm eating like a cookie or something. And that's like the best memory I've had of my mom.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people don't. As a parent, I understand doing things so that your children have those memories. Mm-hmm. And you do those things because you know that there's a time where they're going to have to refer back, get grounded. You know what I'm saying? And it sounds like that's a pure moment for you. That's a very pure memory for you. Now, do you reach out? Are you in communications with any of your brothers or your sisters or
Yeah.
mother or father?
Yeah. A while ago, it was like 2016. My brother found me on Facebook, and they've been like trying to like search for me for a long time apparently, but he found me on Facebook, so we were like talking, messaging, but it's like, and then he tried calling me on the phone, but it's so hard. The accent is so hard to understand. It sounds like a different language. So we talked here and there, and I could like try to pick up and things. And then I actually talked to my biological mother, but it was extra hard to understand her because she wasn't college educated. Like she wasn't as educated as my siblings, you know, and so it was hard to understand. But like the fact that I got to like she sent me pictures of her. I got to talk on the phone with her a few times, and then we kind of like stopped communicating a little bit. And then just recently, like in the last 2 or 3 months, my aunt found me on Facebook, and we've been messaging, and then we've talked on the phone a few times, and then she found my biological father. I honestly, when I first came to America, like I thought the last memory I had of my father, I don't know if I made it up because it's not real, he told me, was him going to war or something like that, because like it was like a civil war. Like all I remember was just guns and death and war and moving and stuff like that. And he did go to war, but like I don't remember him. And then when she's like, your dad is still alive. Like I've spoken to your dad. I go visit him. I'm like, what the heck? I thought he died. Like for the past like 14 years, I thought my father passed away or something.
In the war.
Because he wasn't at the air. Like he didn't take me to the airport. He didn't come visit me at the orphanage like my mom and my grandparents did. So I didn't know. So I just recently like talked to my father for the past 14 years. I didn't know he was alive. So we talked, we FaceTimed. And so he is so cute. Like I don't remember him. Like I do not remember his face. So like that being my father, I'm like, yeah, I have like the same like fate, like whatever. So it was cool like being able to talk to my mom, my brother, my aunt, who like pretty much like helped raise me. She's like my second mom. Then my father, it's crazy because I had all these questions, and then like it's like relearning more about myself. Like I am part of all these like different tribes. We're originally from like Israel, and then we came to like Liberia. Then the white people colonized that because they're bored or something. Then they did that, so it turned us into a English-speaking country. Like, so it's like all these things. I'm like originally from Israel. I'm from the tribe. I'm like I'm probably like a princess or something. Like I don't know, you know. So I'm just like, it's cool. Like this past few months have been really cool because from years of like Googling things, years of trying to figure out who I am, because like, there's always something missing. You're always trying to like figure out who you are. But, like when your mom and your dad and your sibling, that your biological family tells you who you are, what tribe you're from, blah, 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 blah. That's just like you reinvent yourself into who you've been missing. And it's like a whole different like identity thing. And now I'm just like, even more proud to not just be Black, but to be from like a tribe from Israel.
Oh, so what, are you saying you're part of the one of the 12 tribes?
Yes. You're Israelite, yeah.
Yeah, you're Israelite. Okay, I didn't want to put words in your mouth.
No. Yeah.
But that's what I love that, and I love that your father was the one who gave you that knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And your father says that being a man, I can kind of see what maybe your father didn't come and visit you because he didn't approve of you being there.
And yes, and he said something about that because my aunt's like, it was very difficult for my mom to make the choice to put me up for adoption because, like, not to brag on myself, but like like apparently like they tried, like after my brother, they had my brother, then they tried for like years and like years, like 7+ years to have another child, and that was me. And so like for we living in a village with like your people, it was like a huge celebration that I was born. And she's like, it was very slim that you survived, like just like the conditions of Africa and like your mom's body, I don't know, body or whatever, I don't know. And so like I don't know, I don't remember my dad, but like I did. I don't know if like I made up like a person that to stand in the place of him that I don't recognize anymore because now I know who he is. But yeah, I don't remember him coming to the orphanage, but he told me like he didn't agree or didn't want me and my sister to be adopted because that I'm his daughter. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, that's real. I felt that. I already knew. I already knew he had to put it in his mind that you were gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you did the same, but in a more creative, imaginative way. You know what I'm saying? Your dad was even through all that. Your dad he was your hero because he's in your mind. He went to war.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he died in war. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I think
I don't know where I got that from though. Like I swear to God, I would tell everybody that. And I was like, it's just, I don't know. I made that shit up and I believe that because he's like, no. I was like, all right, well, good. I'm glad you're here. Because I don't remember. Is your internet bad? Wait, I can't hear you. Can you turn it up? No. Oh. What's up, everybody? So, don't look back here. Do not look back here. This is none of your business.